Okay, thank you for joining us and welcome to this webinar. We've had a few more people just start to roll in now, so I think we'll probably get a couple more. Look, this week's webinar is based around a couple of points. One of the things is finding events, and particularly finding events in difficult times. I think you'll find in sales that there is no easy time anyway. That's what separates us from other people. If this was really, really easy, everyone would do it. But it's not. So, finding events in difficult times can be just normal days, as we all know. And difficult times at the moment are defined by obviously the coronavirus and the absence of events. So what I'm going to do is take you through a very practical guide on how to find some of these events and how to target them now. And we're going to use some resources for that. You can see probably 10 times on the screen. And I'm going to go through that. That is just a simple resource which talks about different events happening all over the world. And once again, it's a resource. It's not the official website of each event, but it's a way of getting to those. One of the other points I'm going to go through is keeping in contact with hotels and generating goodwill to build relationships. And then to finish off, well, actually not to finish off, but we're going to briefly go over how video can help promote events, and how what we are working on can actually become a tool for you to win events as well. And then we're going to have a bit of a Q&A session, and I've got a couple of questions for you guys as well. So look, let's crack on. Because I'm screen sharing, I'm going to turn my camera off for the moment, and I'll come back to you afterwards, but I'll leave the microphone on. Okay, so finding events in difficult times. Well, first of all, what I suggest is, guys, if you, sorry, I'm just reading a few comments, and I'm going to keep my eye on the chat. If you have any questions during this, please jump in. Tessa, I believe you're having a few connection issues. Hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. If you can't hear me, then if a few of you just let me know. Okay, so using resources is great to have some resources. 10 times is a great resource. Okay, I'm breaking up apparently. Is anyone else finding that I'm breaking up, or am I coming through clear with the rest of you guys? I just want to make sure. Okay, all right, good. Thanks, Harry. Okay, so 10 times is a great resource. There are many other. There are a lot of other resources that actually focus on category or genre. So if you're, like we try and train to get you into a niche, if you can find some of these directories, there's medical directories, medicalconferences.com, and all these other things, and they actually focus specifically on a category or a sector, and they can be great to focus on events. Now, I don't go on a lot about using these things, but I use them all the time. Google is one. Now you can actually search Google and it comes up with all different events and maps, and just the same way you search hotels and different things. They're all great. That's not the problem. The problem with these are that they're not the official event. So use them, research these, because these have a great collection, but then go and Google. So the way you want to Google is you want to take the name. All right. So I'm going to do this for Fashion Week, Hong Kong Fashion Week. I'm going to simply open up another browser, and I'm going to search, and I'm going to come up. And by the way, when you do a search, and let me just put that in again. When you do a search on Google and you put in your terms into this little box up here, the URL space or the search box or whatever you want to call it, what tends to happen is lots of other names come down. Do you guys know what this represents? Google are telling you these are the most popular searches for that term. So they're telling you what people are looking for. So you can easily click on these and go straight to it. So they're giving you some options, but they're actually telling you what the most popular terms are that people are searching. So just as a side tip for you guys, when you're deciding on the name for your private booking area, consider these types of terms, or consider putting these terms in your heading or in your text. Why? Because it's the most popular search term. And if you can be coming up under these with the word hotels or accommodation as well, you're going to be the top of the search engines automatically and organically, especially because we will be connected to the event. So when we've got a direct link from the event's website back to our PBA and we're found under these search terms, we're right up the top of the organic list. So people searching for the event are going to find us. They could come through us and see the accommodation or go directly through to the event. Just thought I'd bring that up just in case you guys don't really know what some of the SEO terms are that go on around Google. But they do try and make your life as easy as possible. You should take note of this stuff. And when you contextualize or write the text on your PBAs, you should be doing it with these things in mind to make sure that you're more sensitive. The more sensitive you are, the more promotion the event gets because you've given them another link into their website. Plus, the more people that know you're connected and see if they're searching accommodation, you come right up the top of the list. Anyway, back to the agenda. Okay, so let's search one of these. And I'm going to go 2020 because even though I didn't put it, because, well, it's more specific. And what I'm looking for, I'm looking for the direct website. Okay. So, and it sometimes takes a little looking, but I am looking for the direct website. So I want to find maybe that's it there, whatever it is, that's what I want to find. And that's what 10 times doesn't really do for you. They actually want you to transact on their website. But if you take it away, see, this isn't even the website. This is Hong Kong Means Business. And they've given you the official website there, you see? Now we click through. So sometimes you have to drill down a bit. Don't think the first website is the first website. Okay. So there's all sorts of announcements going on, as we know at the moment. So Priority Trade Council, it's a very long-winded. Okay. Will be held concurrently from the 25th to the 28th at the Hong Kong Convention Centre. You see that? Okay. Now, this is pretty typical of a lot of the events that are out there. It's not that they're cancelled. It's that they've been postponed. Now, a lot of the events now have been postponed to July. Some of them were in May and June. Some of them were earlier. Then they got postponed to May and June. Then they got postponed now to July. And they're doing this clearly with the intention that they still hope to schedule it. Now, think about what they're doing. In the background, they're setting things in motion in order for them to be projecting that they've moved this event to the 25th to the 28th of July. Clearly, they've had to make a commitment with the venue. They've agreed it with the venue. They've agreed it with the exhibitors. They've agreed it with the service providers. They've agreed it with everyone. They've agreed it with the marketers, the publicity, the PR companies. Everything is moved across to this date. So they are reasonably confident to do that at this date. Now, they may still get postponed. That's fine. You know, I think we're all very aware of the possibility of that happening. But it's still happening. So my question to you is, why not get in touch with them? And if they're still happening, and what we can do, please visit our website. Okay. So you see, you've got to keep going and keep going and keep going. Now, clearly, these guys do a lot of different events. They're not just the one event. So they've got multiple events going on there. So you can get in touch with the organizers there. But clearly, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find out on their website. Okay, so this is their website. Fair in Motion, fashion, apply for a booth, buy a registration, advertise. For fair information, travel assistance, that's one we want to look at. The exhibitor, travel assistance once again. For the visitor, anything that says hotels, directly, e-news, press, my favorite. Okay, for the visitor, travel assistance. Let's go into travel assistance. Let's see what's there. Okay, important notice, visas, transport, value for money hotels, special rates, official accommodation providers. Okay, they've listed them on there. They've got a net room rate on there, net rate, and they've got basically a link to the hotel. Marriott, IC Grand Stanford, Accor, all direct links. No online booking, all direct links. Okay, so this is for an event that is committed now in July. So why not give them a call? So, you know, the events, as I'll show you, I'm going to show you a few more examples. They're actually very easy to find. They're still happening. They're still out there. What it takes is for someone to get in touch with them and send them some information. And as I've said before, also say to them, look, you've got this event, you've got these hotels, but you don't have a booking system. People actually have to either email and wait for an answer. They either have to call, and they could be coming from all over, maybe somewhere in Asia. You know, they're all hoping, obviously, that the international aspect restarts. And some parts of Asia and Hong Kong may allow that to actually happen. Not so much China, perhaps, but certainly Hong Kong and other places. So once again, it depends. I think what we'll do is also see a lot more testing come in before these people start moving around. But clearly, they've got their hotels, they've got their rates, everything is remain the same. Terms and conditions, cancellation policies may become a little bit more flexible so that people are reassured that they can, also cancel should they need to. But that's a typical example to show you out there. They're still scheduled. So even though it is very difficult times, they're still there. These people still need an accommodation partner. They still need an accommodation provider. They don't have an online booking system. And in 2020, people want to be able to book then and there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So this is a great opportunity for someone. And there's multiple events. It's not just Fashion Week. As you saw before, multiple events are actually going to be run together. It just gives you an idea how you can use something like 10 times and then drill down. Also, have a look at 10 times here, and I'm going to slide in here a bit so you can really see it up close. What's Vanessa saying? Sometimes in these cases, the prices are the ones from the other OTAs, ex-booking or not even, and they move. Sorry, I don't understand what you're saying there. I think you text talk down. Thanks. And they move down. I've encountered lower prices in bookings and from hotels when asked direct, and use that to try and convince them when using our services. Absolutely. You know, who knows when these rates were negotiated. Most of the time, we can beat those type of rates that are on the screen. And you've just got to then go and compare to booking.com, compare to a few others that are out there, so that you'll be able to really get an idea of what you've got to beat there. Most of the time it's not difficult because these guys really haven't pushed very hard. They're they're going through multiple hotels. If you saw how many hotels are actually on there, so there's quite a few hotels that they're actually on there. So, there's no exclusivity there. There's no really going, hey, we just want you 1 or 2 4 stars or 1 or 2 5 stars. That's it. That's all we're going to have. So in return for that, we want a special rate and we want upgrades and we want this and we want that. They've got the complimentary features and everything, 2 bottles of drinking water. They're just standard things. They're not anything special. They're just standard things anyone will get when booking into their hotel. And remember, at the moment, people want business and they want a secure event. So if you went and actually contracted this event as the exclusive agent and then went back to these hotels with the view that they may actually lose this event, they're going to negotiate pretty hard. And once again, it's not about ripping these hotels off. It's about making sure we're very competitive and we make it attractive for people to book through, as opposed to go somewhere else. If they go onto booking.com, the event and the even the hotels don't have any control, but we can control it because we're selecting hotels, negotiating special rates with added value. So we're giving people a reason to come here. These rates don't give people a reason. There's nothing in particular that's extra special here, and this is what you can do. So all that stuff anyway. But one of the things I wanted to show you here, on sites like 10 Times, they've actually started putting got postponed. And so they've got these events, got cancelled. It's not the proper English, but hey, it's fine. Got cancelled. Virgin London Marathon got cancelled or got postponed. That's all. So when you have a look through this list, and this is just a list, and I'll put it on there just to show you an idea. This is just London. I've just picked London out, but you can do this search for anywhere. All right. I'm just going to put that into the box there so you can see what type of search it is. Did I just delete it? I think I just deleted it. Oh, no. That should come out in a second. I don't know. It's disappeared. Okay. But the point here, okay, they've got ads and things that pop up there, is we're in April, right? Now, clearly things are cancelled or postponed. I just disappeared all of a sudden. Hello. Can you hear me? Am I back? Great. No idea what happened then. I was just trying to post something in. I probably just turned myself off, but you're used to me disappearing. There we go. Okay, I've put the link. I put the link in there. Let me reconnect screen sharing because I know that just dropped off a moment ago. Okay, let's go back. Okay, to here. So you guys should have all that back now, hopefully. Okay. So as far as the screen goes, I don't know why that's there now. Okay, so as we scroll down the list, it's probably because I'm so far zoomed in, to be honest. Okay, so you'll see as we go into June, there's got postponed. There's less postpones. Less, there's none. Got postponed, there's a couple there, got cancelled. But now less, whereas around this month, there was clearly more. So that's because a lot of these events are still scheduled. They're still in the calendar. So therefore, you should treat them like an event that is actually going to happen. You should approach them realistically in your own mind that they may not happen or they may get postponed like the others. But postponing just means moving forward. It doesn't actually mean doing anything else. And you can put a site together, as I'll show you in a second, one that I researched a little bit earlier, and it's into July. So I've gone forward in July. You see there's hardly any got postpones there now. Anyway, there's an event coming called Pure London. And I found it a little bit earlier. And what I did was then I clicked through and I found them, okay, just by simply doing a Google search. I found them, and on there, they have an accommodation page. So when I went over about, okay, I'll even go back. So Pure London. Okay, we'll let it load. They have a COVID notice, staying connected to our community. With COVID-19 continuing to dominate the news and conversations in our communities, we want to let you know that Pure London is still planned to take place 19th to the 21st of July at London Olympia, at Olympia, London. So it's still scheduled. They're waiting until they have no choice. So clearly it's still happening. They've got the exhibitors, they've got everything sorted out. When you hover over them, there's an accommodation offer. So once again, every site, every event always needs accommodation. So accommodation offer, they click on that. All right, I'll click on it. And it comes up, hotels in close proximity to London Olympia. Okay, now 4 hotels are all they've chosen. Now they've got rates, an idea of rates from 114, cancellation policy 14 days, 5 days, all this information. When you click through, now this is an event accommodation provider, just like us. This is one called eventexpressuk.com. So clearly Event Express has this event. So we're not necessarily going to get this event. We don't know. But that's fine. You know, we can't do every single event in the world necessarily because we don't have the agents around the world to do every single event. You'd be too busy, but just gives you a bit of an idea. So these guys have put a page together with a few images, a few facilities, a couple of room types. But if you go to actually book it, once again, they've got their calendar still stuck on the wrong thing. And I think it's the 20, what did we say it was? See, they've still got 9th to the 11th of February when it was supposed to be originally. And I think it's, 19th of July to the 21st of July. So when you go in here, there's no rates. You can pick as many rooms as you want. But what they're saying is that's what, if you can't read that, please contact Event Express for prices and their phone number. Because they're in a holding pattern as well. So the event are not sure what's going to happen, but they're still scheduling the event. They've kept their hotel booking partner and they've moved them as well. And the hotel partner has said, okay, we're going to just handle things manually at the moment because we're not sure. Now, I think, there's a lot of hotels that aren't open at the moment, but there are some that are open. So my advice would be to go for the ones that are open that will give you a price to at least put in the system, possibly even to book now with a reasonable cancellation policy to give people confidence, something you can negotiate with the hotel. But that's how I would handle it, just like these guys have handled it. And this is just 2 events that are still running. The organizers have still they're still in the system. And to be honest, June's not very far away now, or July or August. It's not that far away. So there are all these events still sitting there in these calendars, in these directories like 10 times that need some help. And everyone's in a holding pattern, but this is the way to do it. So even finding events in difficult times is not that difficult. The search engine, so don't, we all listen to the news and we all realize that it's difficult out there. But everyone's still trying to push forward as much as they can. So there is still opportunity out there. The opportunity has just been postponed. The opportunity hasn't been canceled. So my advice to you agents out there is use this time right now to really build up this contact list, be making contact with the event organizers and with, the hotels, to show that you're active and you're out there. It will put you in a very good position with both, because they see that even though it's difficult, you're still out there, you're pushing things, you're trying to make things happen. You're going to be the first accommodation provider they come to when things come back, because they just want something to move forward with. They realize you've suffered as well as they've suffered, and therefore their loyalty will be to you. And there are literally, this is one city in the world. Look at all these events. There's so many events. This is just till August. So many events that are still sitting there. There's still more loading, more and more. Now we're into September. This is one city. So, what to do is you go onto 10 times and you can search. I searched for trade shows. So if you search for trade shows in a particular city, that's a good way to come across this. Or just go to 10 times, go into trade shows, and narrow down your market. Once you get in there, you'll be able to see. But this is one website with loads and loads and loads of stuff. So, and here, related search. So you can actually search by educational, medical, business, technology. I mean, they've done it all for you. 10 times do this because they sell advertising across it and they get kickbacks if they book something of it. They do actually have a booking system. I think they've got an affiliate link to booking.com, but it's the official website. You can even see who's going. You got 32 going. It gives 50 going. So it gives you an idea of how popular the event is. And if you flick through the list and you find something that has a lot of people, like 36 going already, and this isn't the official website, so 76 following, to understand what's going on. That's on the Gold Coast. That's here. That's in July. Metcash Supermarkets and Convenience Expo. There's already 76 following because they want to find out the latest news and make sure the event's still running and so on. So that might be one I need to get hold of. That's on the Gold Coast. For the sake of it, let's put it into a search. Okay, Gold Coast Convention Center. Okay, July. Important announcement. Due to the increased restrictions and closures, we've made the difficult but inevitable decision to hold this year's event in July. That is okay. They're still holding it in July. All inquiries. Oh, sorry. They've actually, I'm just reading it now. We've made the difficult decision not to hold this event in July. Okay. So once you do that, you put it down for next year. Maybe send them a quick email. Say, hey, sorry, your event cancelled for this year, but I'd love to provide the accommodation for you for next year. Boom. That's it. Send them a couple of links and a little bit of information, and then start the conversation. All right. And then go back and search for the ones that are happening, like the ones we looked at before. So it's a little bit of sifting through, but that's fine. That's what the whole opportunity is. Now, this rolls nicely into the next topic, which is keeping in touch with hotels to strengthen relationships and partnerships. And also the next point, which is to generate goodwill to build relationships. So those work pretty much closely together. Keeping in touch. You guys, I might have told you this in previous webinars, but one of the tricks that I used to use dealing with hotels is I used to call hotels and I used to tell hotels that I had an event. And I used to say, I'll probably need 20 or 30 rooms for this event. What rates can you give me? And they would get very excited and they would provide me the rates. They would email, and then I'd go back and maybe negotiate a little bit more, say, hey, can you do this? Hey, I'm really, really close. Could you push it a little bit more? Could you push it a little bit more? I really want to get this deal. Could you push it a little bit more? And they'd come back with another price. And they'd say, could you add, a bottle of wine in the room or a late checkout, or is there anything else you could do? And they all know. I mean, hotels get contacted with people all day long. They give quotes out all day long, and 20-30% of the business they will win. So they're used to giving lots of quotes out. And I used to do this, and then I would put a hold on it. I'd say, look, can you hold on for me? And then what I would do is I would call them back a couple of days later and I would cancel it. Okay, this is how I got started. Now, the reason I did this, especially with new hotels, is so that they would look at me more favorable before I got the event. So the advantage that gives you is that all of a sudden the hotels understand the type of business you're trying to bring to them. You've got a key contact now at that hotel who kind of understands that you mean business and you're really promoting that style of business, right? And you've got the attention of their sales departments. And that's a direct link now as well. You've got their email address. You've got everything that you need. You can even pop in when times get easier and say hello. But what you've done is really assert yourself into that place. Now, you can call back and you say, look, I'm really sorry, but the client's gone with another hotel. They're used to that. And then what happens is when you get your next event and you go back to them, you're not approaching them for the first time. You're actually approaching them for the second time. And in their memory, they only remember the fact that you approached them about 30 rooms, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So now your contact already knows you and treats you like you're a long-time supplier to them. They want your business. You've been really friendly with them. You've shared a joke. So now you're not brand new. Whereas sometimes when you go in brand new, you've got to do all the explanation and all this sort of stuff. And then you might not get the best rates first up. And then you got to go back and renegotiate. So once again, you only need to do this once with a hotel, and then you've got that for life. You've got your contacts there for life. But I found it a really, really useful strategy to get to the right person, number one, get the direct contact details, find the decision makers, because that just shows you how to find the decision makers. But it builds up a really good relationship and some really good goodwill, I suppose, with the hotels, that they understand that you're really out there, trying to bring in events. And so what happens is quite often I've canceled that event and the hotel's called me back and gone, hey, if you get anything else, we'd love to work with you. Hey, if you get anything else, we'd love to give you a really good rate, because they're chasing this type of business. So instantly with one call, and I didn't even have an event, I've now got the hotels contacting me because now they understand the potential of the market that I bring to them, right? So this time we've got hotel people on LinkedIn. You've got hotel people on your email address. You should be contacting them personally. Okay, yes, I've got the database and I'll do email campaigns and I'll do a send out, but that's not the same as you contacting them one-to-one. And that's not the same as you having their personal, not their personal, but their direct email address with their business. But it is a great way to do it. And you should be spending your time now keeping in contact with the hotels. So, hey, when do you think you're going to be opening? Have you heard the news? Do you think that means you'll open to domestic travelers? And that's something else I'll touch on. I believe that, and I don't think you have to be Einstein to work it out, but the domestic market is going to come back first. International won't. People won't drop their internet. I mean, we're going to have a job getting the planes running again, but they're going to do it as quickly as possible. In a place like Australia, they're going to start the airlines hopefully soon, and they'll release the restrictions, but you will not be flying overseas, and overseas will not be flying into Australia. The domestic market will kick off. So what I suggest is you all look at your local market and you start making direct goodwill contacts and build great relationships with your hotels in your domestic market, because I think you're going to be working in your domestic market for a little while. Now, who's in your domestic market? Well, if you're in somewhere like South Africa, it could be Johannesburg and potentially if there's an event in Johannesburg, like a gymnastics tournament or a karate tournament or something like that, you're still going to get people travel in and need accommodation, but that is domestic travel. We're not now relying on internationals. So the first thing to come back is going to be the smaller events. Okay. And that's lucky because we only deal in small to medium events, generally speaking. We don't deal in the massive events necessarily. So that's our market, which will come back first, but it'll come back on a domestic level. So make sure that you're keeping contact with your local hotels and your domestic market, and you understand what's going on, and you're looking through 10 times, and you're looking through LinkedIn, and you're looking through Google, and you're getting all those events that have been now postponed to June, July, August, and you're building your contacts up because they're the first ones that are going to come back. But now is the time to do it. Don't do it when it's too late. Don't do it when people don't have any time anymore. Don't do it when other people can move into your market and potentially take that business away. Start getting the goodwill flowing with the event organizers now as well by keeping in contact with them. As I've demonstrated, they are having their event. It may be postponed, but they are having their event. And if you do enough of these and you get enough agreements going right now, a proportion of these will happen July to December with an ounce of luck. I believe they will in some places. It's looking good in Australia, and some other countries are starting to see a bit of a decline in the spread, and they will try and open things up. So that's one thing to do is just keep in contact with those hotels and really build that goodwill with both hotels and event organizers. Okay, one of the other things I wanted to provide for you, I'm not going to go into the video side of things. We're working on that behind the scenes. Things are moving along. But what that gives you on the event side of things is it will give you the ability in the future to be able to let the events know that you're going to help promote them as well. And this will help win you events. Is that, like I say, you don't have to get involved with the video sales stuff. We're doing that anyway. But know that Hotels TV are building a TV channel. So we're building an online TV channel. And at the end of that online TV channel are guests, hotel booking guests, their event organizers, hoteliers, all sorts of stuff, but they are booking guests. Now, as we grow our markets and increase our reach and, across Amazon, Fire TV, and possibly in airlines and on airlines and in airports soon, and then across YouTube, this is where some of their market is. So we can certainly put a video ad campaign together to help promote the events, because sometimes we've actually been asked by the event, as a reciprocation, can we promote their event to our audience? And the answer is yes. And at this point, we don't have a vast audience that will be relevant to their event, because it might be the first time we've ever done their event. So it's not like we have a database of everyone who's been to that event or like those types of events before. We don't necessarily. Some of them we do. But as we grow the TV channel, it gives a great platform and a great advantage to you as agents to be able to say to your events that we may be able to help promote your event by if they have a video of that event. We could even put an ad together. We might, they might want to buy a slot on hotels.tv. So maybe a 30-second ad or a 6-second ad to go out and be broadcast across our channel, because we have a reach of 100 million across all our channels. So you would hope and think that, somewhere in there are some clients that could benefit from attending their event. So these are things that I just wanted to point out to you that it's not quite there yet, but it will be, and it will give you the advantage of being able to reciprocate with the event, not only to provide the accommodation, but actually to help promote it. And the more we help promote the events, clearly the more hotel bookings we should do as a result. More people are attending, but they're coming through our channels, so they feel more comfortable. So it kind of works hand in hand. Once again, it's a really good way of building goodwill with event organizers as well. So, goodwill is kind of like giving something away. If you've seen, you guys should all be connected on my LinkedIn profile. We've been running a campaign called hashtag Keep Hotels Visible. And we're actually giving free marketing to hotels at this difficult time because their budgets have decreased. And we want to show their videos off because it helps keep our market active. If we can keep hotels visible, even though their marketing budgets have been reduced, the hotels will come back stronger. The market will recover faster. People will remember the nice hotels that they want to visit, but we will be seen to be doing something positive, building goodwill. And that's what we're doing, because we genuinely want the hotels to recover, because that's what our business is all about. So the more we can do at this point to help hotels, to help event organizers, potentially with publicity or whatever it is, to help them with the accommodation, to work with them even though they may be postponed, so that we can all be working towards the same goal right now and be ready for when the hotels open. This builds great goodwill. These are the things that I think you really should consider. If you're not doing already, you really should be doing now. A few of the agents, a few people have mentioned to me that they feel that there's more positive news starting to come out globally. This is the time to do it. People are starting to think more positively. They're starting to, well, certainly everyone's sick of being trapped in, but they're seeing, and there's more talk about restrictions easing, and this presents opportunity. Planning. Everyone is planning at the moment. You should be part of their plans. If you've heard the expression, plan today, stay tomorrow, and all these different slogans that are going on around there, that's because, or dream today is another one, because people are dreaming and planning right now. They are looking forward to what happens when the restrictions, and as soon as those restrictions happen, they want to be out there. They've got an idea of which hotels they're going to, which spa resorts they want to go to, which restaurant they want to go to. So the more visible the events can be, the more visible the hotels can be right now, the more visible you can be in your business right now, the more successful you're going to be when it all comes back. And I really, really can't stress that enough. You should be really focused and really busy with all that. And we're going to try and support you as much as we can and really grab this TV channel opportunity that we can use to create us as an authority in the marketplace, and also give us a great platform to be able to promote. Tessie, you've said it very well. Tessa's just sent a message saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that's exactly true. So, these are difficult times, but they're not impossible times. Difficult isn't a bad thing. As I said at the start, if this was easy, everyone would do it. The fact that you've chosen to do this, we hope that you're passionate and you're driven, and that's what will make you succeed. If you look through 10 times, and don't take my word for it, look through 10 times, you will see events that are still planned and are still running. You will see some hotel booking agents that are connected to those events. You know why? Because they didn't stop. They kept going. They're building their businesses. They're still focused. They're working hard. They're waiting for the recovery, and they're winning loyalty as they go. So look, that's all I really wanted to cover. I'll go through a couple of questions if you've got some questions, and I've got some questions for you as well. What I'd like to know, just for you to have a think about, if you've got anything on your mind, do you have any difficulties that you're facing? and you could put these questions in there and feel free to, because, you're not alone with these thoughts. Everyone kind of thinks the same thing. And sometimes people don't want to ask the questions. But how do you get set up? How do I make the first contact with the event organizer? How do I face my fears of contacting the events or the hotels? How do I face my fears of selling? I don't know how to sell. How do I sell? How do I be more confident with what I'm doing? One of the questions I'll ask you as well is, do you invest in yourself? You don't know everything. I don't know everything. So the stuff that you don't know that's holding you back, do you research? Do you do lessons? Take lessons on YouTube? Do you educate yourself? Do you look at hotelmarketing.com and eHotelier and subscribe to those so that you're in the know and you understand the lingo? I mean, what do you do to invest in yourself, improve yourself, make yourself more successful with this particular business? So, these are things that I just wanted to mention. I wanted you to think about. And if you do have questions or you're apprehensive about something, then please ask. Either you can ask here and drop them in there, because I'm sure sharing the other agents will really appreciate it in case someone doesn't want to ask, or certainly you can ask those questions in a private training session or by email or by WhatsApp. But I think I think they're really important questions for you to ask yourself. If you're not active at the moment, why? Are you too engrossed in news? Because we're completely filled with news, and we have been for about 6 weeks. Are you buying what they're saying? Is it stopping you from doing things? Is it stopping you from making plans? Is it stopping you from contacting people? Are you prejudging the market? And what I mean by that is, are you making assumptions that people aren't there to talk to? Or are you doing your best to contact people? Because I can assure you that even if they're not there and you email them, they will be there one day soon, and they will see that email, and that counts. If you've tried to contact them 4 or 5 times, that will count. If you've tried to contact them on LinkedIn, that will count. Some people might have taken it easy, but they will be checking. I can assure you they'll check their LinkedIn account. I can assure you they'll check their emails, because some of them are laid off. Okay, and there's not much you can do. They don't have access. They're in they're furloughed, as the new expression goes. So they may not have access. But the people that we're kind of dealing with, director of sales, revenue manager, sales managers, generally they tend to be the people that are still somewhat connected to the business. Revenue manager as well. The events, without a doubt. A lot of the event organizers may be self-employed, and that might be something for you to focus on and consider when you research your events. Do they look like a professional conference organization, or do they look like a smaller event organizer who might be just 1 or 2 people, maybe self-employed, or might belong to a company that has put that together? And because it's still scheduled, they still have to be somewhat available. These are things to really kind of look at rationally, I think, when you're going through, and really, really defy the generalist or the populist viewpoint and make your own assumptions by experience. So pick up the phone and talk to the event organizer. If you call 100 event organizers and you don't get any of them, maybe then make the assumption that they're not there. But don't just call 1 or 2 and make that assumption, and don't just listen to the press and make that assumption, because I can assure you they're sitting there guarding their businesses, trying to survive and making plans for its return. You can be part of that plan. Karen's just put a note in. Now is a good time to connect. Event organizers spend more time online at the moment. And she's built great connections during the lockdown. Great stuff. Yeah, excellent. Absolutely. And these are, people are making lists. They're making their contact lists at the moment. They're going, who did I hear from when times were difficult? Because because what's going to happen, as soon as everything goes back, they're going to greet you with a sigh of relief going, thank God that's all over. Aren't we ready to get back? And away you go. And you've got a new connection. And now is such a good time when it's difficult. I found a lot of the bookings, long-term clients I had when I was an agent for 10 years, a lot of those long-term clients came out of a difficult situation or a problem that we handled. And it breeds loyalty. They know that you're not just there for the good times, you're there for the all times. And they trust you, and they feel that you deserve their attention. And that's really important as well. So look, they're the things I just wanted to go through this week. To recap very briefly, finding events in difficult times, we've gone through that. You just have to look. You really just have to look out there. Get yourself some directories and really go through, make the contacts, but make personal contacts. Don't make general sweeping, really research who the person is and get hold of the person. We've all got a little bit of extra time to spend a bit more time on quality at the moment. Keep in contact with the hotels, really, really important. They need to know that you're there still fighting for them. Build goodwill. Do something nice for them. Do something that's going to help them. Like say, if you've come across a hotel and you could say to them, hey, why don't we just give you some free publicity to keep the visibility up? Send a video over to me and I'll send it over to Harrison and, do something like that for your hotels. Let's give them a bit of exposure for free. No problem. Once again, if they don't have a video and they want one, we will charge them a fee. It'll be cost, but you will earn a commission from that. So if you even come across any of the hotels right now, and that happens, then refer them on to us and we'll make sure you get a kickback. So you don't have to be enrolled in the video sales program to do that. It is essentially just a referral. So if you want to refer the hotels over, we'll handle it all. And we'll give you a kickback. But at least that's giving your hotels some goodwill right now. The event organizers as well. Look, if you want to go to your event organizers and ask them if they have a video of their last event or an event before, and they would like some publicity now, look, we have the viewers. We don't know if it's their market directly, so I can't promise them that, but we will expose them across Amazon Fire TV, where there's 35 million people connected. So if someone picks that up and searches and finds events, and that's great. Well, it's extra exposure and it's cost them nothing. So you might want to go to some of your events and ask them if they have a video and give them some goodwill free of charge. Would you send the video to us? You can send that through wetransfer.com. We just need the permission to say that we can edit it and we can run it. And we're not breaching any copyright. That's really it. You could even do that in an email that's direct from them, or we can give you a short agreement. But anything like that, it's using your resources. It's providing some goodwill to them. It's building up some great loyalty, and it really works. So, have a think laterally. In business, you have to be flexible. You have to be able to pivot and move and duck and weave. And you have to have a plan. You have to be aiming at something. Don't just be aimless. Put a plan in place. You should know what you want to achieve and how many events you want to do a month, and give yourself a goal right now that, from July to December, you want to do 2 events a month or 4 events a month. Give yourself a goal and then go and reward yourself. And in the meantime, get us some videos of these events, get us some videos of these hotels, and we'll do that as a goodwill gesture for you and goodwill gesture for them, and we'll broadcast them. And you can even say, hey, you'll go and see, if you go to Amazon Fire TV, if you get one of the little TV top box plugins, or you go to Roku TV at the moment, and you go to the travel section, you'll see Hotels TV. Download the app, and you can view your video across our channel. All right. So hopefully that gives you a few good ideas. We will be back again next week as usual with different topics. If you've got specific things that you would like me to discuss, then by all means just send me an email to harrison@hotels.tv with a couple of ideas of different topics that you think would be a good idea to discuss, and I'd be happy to do that. Otherwise, we'll keep going over different techniques and different ways, and keep looking at the market as well. And I think what we'll do is start to look at how the market's evolving, and maybe take a closer look at these events coming up, and start to look at patterns as well, of what time they postpone till, and what the sentiment is around that, and look a bit closer at that in your market. So feel free to message me to do that. So we're up now, and we're actually on time this week. So thank you so much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed it. The video will be online very, very shortly. I'll put that up in about 15, 20 minutes, so you can review it if you would like to break down the early stuff that we went through. Otherwise, be safe, stay out of trouble, work hard, stay positive, and look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Bye for now.